You're now listening to PMN Tonga.
Ko wa taria uri me ka tahaka planet gas pe mo ngai tuaki ke wikeni malova.
Malo David. Kainga Tonga. The planet gas I tapito no e.
You're listening to PMN Tonga with John Pulu.
Si o to o whahau e ki hamata pule, malo e tau mau e whiawhini, malo le soifua maua, ma le langi mama. Whatulo watu hau e ki pia moe kakai whanua, koe tau polo kalama whungani ni oi hauani. Folau He Vahanoa is a legal education program specifically aimed at Pacific people who support and or work with our Pacific peoples and families in the family, youth and criminal legal and justice space, providing training, education and empowerment to those who work directly with our vulnerable families, and will see better improvement and more meaningful engagement by our Pacific peoples and communities within the legal and justice system. Joining us right now is Tongan Barrister Tania Sharkey, as well as Tongan academic Dr Aulola Lino. Malolele, and welcome back to you both.
Malolele, John. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, John. Malolele.
Taritari whiawhia ki moa ki he polokalama koe ni oi hauani. I'll start with you, Tania. Let's talk a little bit more about it. I've just shared a brief of what the Folau He Vahanoa is about, and maybe we'll go to Aulola, Dr. Lino, after that to share a little bit about the meaning of that. Malo, Tania.
Yeah. So I finished up at the Royal Commission in December, and you can see the gaps and the disconnect between what is happening in our vulnerable communities and in the legal and justice space. So a legal education program was the next step for us, and you start with trying to come up with the concept, what it's all about. So I went to Tonga for a break. I went back home, and I'm from Homa, Tonga, and every trip I will go to the blowholes, Mapuavaya, and stand in wonder of the vastness of that ocean. And that is where Vahanoa came to me, and that's what inspired me. So when I came back, I first spoke to my mum, but then of course consulted with Dr Aulola Lino to help me realize what it was that I was trying to bring to life. So yeah, that's a brief summary of that.
Malo pito Tania. Toke ta Aulola Lino, toi omi moa ki whama ala pe whikau aki pia moe fōtu koe ni ai Folau He Vahanoa.
Ko ia malo apito e John e whainga maali e koni koko ma o pia o koko le mo peke o whakatulo watu e ngai tala whakatapu ko osino au whaki me he whale ko e ni. Ka ata mo oko ko inge whainga maali e ke lave ki he fo ilea koni koko Folau He Vahanoa. I think, John, when Tania actually approached me, and I'm one that is very you know, I like listening to Tongan concepts. And when she approached me about the Vahanoa, I remembered a lea whaalea e kukuihe, whakafolau atu e ofa ki he Vahanoa.
Yes.
And so I said to Tania, you know, the Vahanoa doesn't actually exist on its own, that there is something, you know, right from the beginning. I wai lea ia I mo ai. And I said, ko mao te popeke ilo, Maulalo gay, I lea kon ko Folau He Vahanoa. And Tania actually, her thinking was around it needed to involve not just, I mean, we were fortunate to think of a Tongan concept, but it needed to encompass Otomoto Pasifiki.
Ko ia.
And so, you know, we are very fortunate ki he koloa nei hanga e peri hau ofa o mai ka te tautolo around the ocean. And so, you know, our conversation steered around that. And one of the things that I know around conceptual frameworks or thinking, o koe kakai no for mai koloa koe ni. So I did say to Tania, you know, it really requires us to go back to the knowledge holders and ask them around ko hai o hinga o e Folau He Vahanoa. And so, pia tātānaki mai lewa i ngahi I loko I ni ko koe ai kau mātua, me kau whine mātua I he community, o nau wahe mai e ko loa, o whatu aki ai whakakaukau ko eni koe Folau He Vahanoa, because I he taimi lahi e tau whakakaukau koe ki he Folau. Ai koe Folau oku ne tuhu mai koe Folau, tau wanga pe Folau tahi. Pea moe Folau he wakapuna. But one of the things kon ko tau Folau he waha au e tahi. Pea nau hanga lewa o mai e whakakaukau koe o island nations o kune hanga wha o taha aki ki tau tolo e Pasifiki, aki ai whai wahanoa koe ni by the ocean. So the ocean connects the island nations together. And I think koe uhinga koe ni koe uhinga maalia o e wahanoa, ko taim ko wholawa hataha he wahanoa, o nau whepaki pia moe ngahi challenges, he?
Ngahi pe
O
au,
e ngahi pe au lala, me mea whaka ke heke. But they also reminded us when we did go and talk to these old people, our ancestors, they were the Kona tolu nao maui art koe Folau He Vahanoa. They relied on the stars, they relied on the wind, they relied on the waves, ko ohinga, ke direct aki koni ko koe Folau. So I think koe pui tu aia koni ko hono o mai, pia moe ngahi whakakaukau koni ko koe ki he tau kei, me tau mua koni ko a Tania, ke empower pene hanga o whakatau whanua hata. Because often, and I just talk from my trade is in social work. And so sometimes when we work with people, koe ngahi me akoni they face with
Oh, yeah.
is the koe I was reminded I ngahi lea kon koe mātua me he lea koe ka kunsaro te koe ke masiva hoku kakai ka kunao masiva ilo. So when we lack knowledge, then we lack, then we're seen as being impoverished, or that's poverty. And so the idea around a Folau He Vahanoa is to equip. He, ai koe taha koko Folau He Vahanoa, they will face challenges, but they will equip hene Folau ko ia e whai e tau whanua.
Maria.
So yeah, sorry John, that's
No, please. Don't apologize. You've added real depth ki he uhinga koe ni ai Folau He Vahanoa.
That's why I went to her.
You've gone to the right person. Whawhetai, pia malo au pito ai whakamaala mai mo toi omi ai uhinga loloto koe na ki he taumua koe ni ai Folau He Vahanoa. And coming back to you, Tania, about this program, I understand that this will launch officially a little bit later. But where to from here with this koloa that you now have? And, I mentioned earlier about who it's for, to help, empower those in this, the legal system, eh?
Yeah. So it's about educating and empowering the providers. Anyone who works with people who come into contact with the legal and justice space. So that's Oranga Tamariki, that's the family court, that's the youth justice, that's the criminal courts, that's the parole board, right? But this is the first step. So Folau He Vahanoa is the entire legal education program, right? And the first thing we're looking at is the legal and justice space when dealing with the justice pipeline. Because unfortunately, we aren't seeing as much of the support services as I think that we could. But what I understand that they need in order to navigate what is a really complex and challenging space is that education and the hands-on practical things. So that's what we're going to do. It's not a lecture, this program. We launch on the 4th of May. The Minister for MPP will be launching that for us. And then we're off. We're in to kind of create this informal Talanoa space where I'm having a number of Pacific lawyers and as well as the Pacific judiciary who will take part in trying to engage with our community and teach them in a way that's Pacific specific, right? And that they will understand, be able to comprehend much more easily than what we see at the moment.
And how can people find out more details or maybe register to attend the official launch in May?
That's a great question, John. So they can go to www.pple.nz. They can go to our Facebook page. We've got a Facebook page for Pacific People's Legal Education Limited. They can email us on fhv@pple.nz. Or you can find me on Facebook or on Google and contact me and I'll give you the details. We really encourage our community to please take part. This is for Pacific peoples. It's by Pacific for Pacific. And I want the entire Pacific community to feel welcome. Yes, it's Folau He Vahanoa, but we were always mindful of something that connected all of us together.
Whawhitai malo au pito Tania. And Dr. Lino, any final message just to wrap up our polokalama ki he hou e ki pia moe ka kai whonua I he ilo koe ni ta whaki koe ni oe lao?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I want to acknowledge Tania Poimoenetimi. And I think this is, I was sharing it with her earlier on, this is a milestone for our Pacific community. E a whea taimi te taulawa o seal within the legal space, a hingoa, something that represents us. We see ourselves in that. And that's the invitation for us to actually participate. I think with Folau He Vahanoa, and as I shared with Tania, I'm always taught that was gifted. Go hingoa koe ni. It belongs to us, John. It belongs to you. It belongs to Tania. It belongs to me. Our ancestors have shared it. It was sitting there waiting for it to be revived. It is revived now. And ko ngā aue pia moe, ai ngā aue ka whakawha a Tania manautimi, they're going to breathe life into this Folau He Vahanoa that is going to be a koloa for our Tongan community, our Pacific community, to equip them and empower them ki he nau totonu. And so that that they're able to actually address any injustices and they feel confident to be able to challenge and to ask questions. Ko koe ia pe e John Malo.
Whawhitai malo e maukoloa toke tā Aulola Lino be pe whoki Tania Sharkey. Malo apito for this wonderful, wonderful program and we look forward to the launch. Ofa lahi atu ki a moua.